Okay, so in my last video, I did the lead up to the Battle of Stalingrad. For the next 3 minutes, I'm going to talk about the actual battle in itself. This takes place on the Eastern Front from August of 1942 to February of 1943. It's known as Case Blue, which is the German advancement into the city. To start off with, on the Soviet side, Joseph Stalin is not going to evacuate anybody from Stalingrad. If anything, he's going to pump more people into the city. He's not going to allow these civilians to evacuate because he thought that his army would fight harder with the civilians still in the city. He also instituted his not one step back, and actually soldiers will be executed upon retreating, thus making the army fight even harder because if you retreat, you'd be shot anyways. From the German side, right when the battle begins, they've got the Luftwaffe, which is their air force, is going to come through and bomb the absolute crap out of the city to where basically it's going to look like this. All of the wood structure in the city are completely gone. And just like the invasion of Russia itself from the German side, they're going to conquer most of Stalingrad. In fact, over 80, it's like 90%, I think, of the city is conquered fairly quickly. But from there, it's a huge stalemate. And there's a handful of reasons for that. For one, Stalingrad, it was an industrial city, so they're actually still building certain types of tanks in a couple of the factories that are still up. Two, the Germans will get so close to the Russian lines, they're going to back up to the Volga River. This is going to allow Russia to continuously resupply soldiers. It's also going to mean the combat is very, very close quarters, so the Luftwaffe and other artillery can't fight or can't bomb the city without, also potentially hitting German troops. So that stops. There's a train station in Stalingrad that will change hands 10 times in a given day just between this hand-to-hand fighting. The fighting takes place sometimes within rooms of buildings. It is that close and that deadly. Problems for the German army, which is going to lead to their ultimate defeat, is winter is going to hit. Hitler refuses to resupply. He refuses to allow them to retreat. What's ultimately going to doom the Germans is the fact that on the sides of Stalingrad, or these hills looking over it, are very much less guarded, and they're also not guarded by German troops. They're guarded by some of the Allies, the Italians, Austrians. The Russians are going to catch wind of that and realize that that is the weak link. They're going to surround the city of Stalingrad, so they're going to make these Italians, Austrians, all these people retreat, surround the city, start bombing within the city. Of course, Hitler says, you're German, you should not retreat. Ultimately, Paulus is the guy's name. I think his first name is Frederick Paulus, who is the first field marshal in German history to surrender, is going to surrender 91,000 troops to the Soviets. By the way, real quick, the most famous Soviet sniper, Vasily Saitsov, was at Stalingrad, but I'm running out of time. It's a Soviet win, changes the course history. Hopefully you learned something. Love you all.